All right, here we are.
Okay, can you see me pretty good?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, I'm just really tiny at the top of the screen.
I'm really tiny at the top of the screen.
Okay, then that's how it's supposed to be. So we're ready. We're
Yeah, we're ready.
so this is a great day. I'm Angie. Leslie and I decided to get together and do this podcast again. We used to do it at the shop, and it was something that we both liked. It was fun, um, and because of that, we're doing this now. So we're hoping that the audience it grows, and we get a lot of people who are interested. Maybe send us some ideas and some comments. We would greatly appreciate that. But I miss the store, miss doing this with Leslie and working with her and the other people, or some of the other people that were there. So we're just decided to do it again, and I'm excited.
Some of the other people.
Yeah, I had to throw that in. This is all about truth. We're speaking our truth, we're living our truth, and this is the authentic side of me that I am. Have always been.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So my name's Leslie Hopper. I go by the Healing Hand Holistic on Instagram and Facebook. And yeah, so I worked at the shop, the Mindful Lotus, with Angie for a couple years, and she closed the shop in 2024. And so we haven't really been doing anything. I moved across the country to North Carolina from California. So yeah, so we had some big changes.
We sure did. Lots of big changes, a lot of good
Life,
positive changes.
life changes.
Yes, all for the
You
best.
became a grandma.
Did I have a granddaughter who is 15 months old? Keeps me on my toes, most definitely. I forgot what it was like having a little one around. So
Oh yeah.
my house is in big disarray, but it's okay.
It has a lot of love. That's all it
Most
needs.
definitely, most definitely. Yeah. So lots of good changes. You moved across country. We did get to see each other back in February, and we had a small gathering of people, women
Hmm.
who were near and dear. There were a lot. Don't get me wrong. There were a lot that we wish we could have
Right.
a lot
Yeah, we
more.
couldn't obviously couldn't, have everybody, but
Yes, but there were a
those
few
that
people that
could.
were nice. Yes. So we had a great time. So at least we got to see you.
I know. I was thinking about that, I think yesterday, and I was like, oh, it's just like a month ago. It was almost 2 months.
I know. I know.
What happened to March?
It was gone. What's happening with this year?
Well, I'll be glad when this is all over.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what we're going to talk about today, I'm kind of surprising Angie with this. We don't really discuss too much beforehand because I want like real reaction, real responses. It's just like two old crones chatting.
The kind of chats we used to have at the shop when it was just the two of us.
Yeah, we would. We
Jump
if
in.
yeah, if we were in between customers and clients, then yeah, we would chat about all woo woo, all
Yeah.
supernatural.
Oh yeah.
Um, so
And a
yes,
little
true.
gossip too.
Oh yes, Geminis love their tea. Um, so yesterday I ran across I an account that I don't follow on Instagram, and they were talking about a gentleman named Chris Bledsoe. Have you heard of him?
I have.
Okay. Do you know the
I
prop?
don't know about him.
Okay.
I've only heard of him, but I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. So I did a little research
Okay.
this morning. But what they were saying that piqued my interest was a prophecy that he said in 2013.
Okay.
He
I know exactly where this is going.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I think I
Um,
saw the same thing. It was
so all right, so let's give a little backstory on Chris Bledsoe. First, I'll give you the prophecy, then we'll work backwards, and
okay.
then we'll
Okay.
circle back to the prophecy.
Sounds
Okay?
good. Yes.
The prophecy um, is, quote, when the red star and Regulus are on the horizon, in front of the gaze of the Sphinx, before daylight, a new knowledge will come to humanity.
Mhm.
End quote. I just got the chills.
Yes.
I
When
just
I
got the
saw
full
that,
chills.
I got the chills.
That's
Yes.
the prophecy, and which he said in 2013. I believe. It's all in my notes. I'll backtrack to that. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, guys. Now, astrologers, he originally thought this prophecy for 2026, and it specifically mentioned 2026, was on the equinox in the fall.
Mhm.
Astrologers are now saying, no, 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 with the way the stars are lined up and the planets, that it's happening on Easter Sunday.
Right.
Okay. Oh, sorry, I cut out there for just half a second. I apologize. Um, so Chris Bledsoe. So let's back up. So we have the prophecy on the table right there. So on January 8th, I'm going to hold this up so I'm not just looking down. On January 8th, 2007,
Mhm.
while on the banks of Cape Fear River, right here in North Carolina, his son, his little boy, and three co-workers encountered a UAP, which is an unidentified anomalous phenomenon. I don't know why they changed UFO to UAP, but they did.
They did.
Celestial beings and missing time. So what happened? They went fishing. He was having he had severe Crohn's disease, debilitating, hospital, almost death. He had major health problems. He was shot when he was 10 years old. Just in and out of the hospital. His business collapsed. So this was a very tumultuous time for him in 2005, 2006. So here we are at the beginning of the year in 2007. He goes fishing with his little boy and three coworkers. What happens next is, since he's going through all this turmoil and stuff going on, he leaves the group and takes a walk. He walks through the woods, up a hill to this like a grassland, an open field. And while he was out there, he saw, it was around 5, and he saw a giant, looked like the sun, but there were 2 of them. And he's like, those are not 2 suns. What is that? And they kind of moved together, moved apart. And then he lost time. He woke up, and it was very scary for him. He didn't know what was going on. He was hiding. And then he wanted to get back, obviously, to his son at the camp because he was fearful. So he started running back down to the camp. Well, there's only one guy there. Everybody else was gone. And he's like, where have you been? He's like, what are you talking about? I just left 20 minutes ago. He's like, you've been gone 4 or 5 hours. It's like 10 o'clock at night now. And so the other 2 coworkers went to look for him, and so did his little boy. So he's like, oh my God, there's these things out there. And my son is, so he eventually found his son. And he was freaked out. Obviously, he saw these celestial beings that had beady red eyes. Wow. And he's a kid. He didn't understand what was going on. So, he started. I'm totally butchering his story here. And then, so he gets back to camp. Everyone comes back to camp. These guys, all of a sudden, these like 9 orbs appear on the horizon. They start moving all around, making formations and stuff. So those guys get freaked out. Everyone's freaking out because they didn't know what's happening. They're like, we got to get out of here. They left all their gear in the truck, and they jump in the car. And then this thing lands in front of them and blocks their path. So, but after that encounter, he there was more to the story too. He goes back to the house with his son, his wife, and other kids are away for the weekend, and there's more beings there, or the same
Oh, wow.
being, you know, so a lot of activity was going on.
Mhm.
Um, and he met this entity he calls the lady.
Okay.
Uh-huh. And he was his first wife had died in an accident on that same road where they were when they were blocked by the ship or the craft or something. Um, and she was in a car accident, and they had had a fight, and he left, and it
Oh,
was her,
wow.
and he found her.
Oh,
Got the chills
wow.
again. So this entity spoke to him when they were in the blocked by the car, and she said, "You have to forgive yourself. She's fine. Don't
Oh,
worry about this any longer." So it took away, I'm kidding, emotion.
oh,
It took away his guilt from,
yeah, that would be,
not staying with her.
yeah.
And uh, they healed him. His Crohn's disease went away.
Okay. Okay.
So after that, he had a bunch of encounters with the lady. So he describes the lady as the mother spirit,
Mhm.
the lady in white. Um, and he sees her as representing the spirit of God.
Okay.
And so fast forward to 2013, Bledsoe got a message from the lady that said thousands of orbs would rise from the world's oceans in 2026
Hmm.
when Iran and Israel started bombing each other.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Yeah. That gave me the chills.
Yeah.
Okay.
The orbs are there to stop the conflict and wake up humanity before it destroys itself.
Hmm.
Fast forward to the other prophecy of the red star, the Sphinx,
Right. Okay.
right? So like I said before, he really thought that this was going to happen, in September for the
Mhm.
equinox. Astrologers got a hold of the information and they're like, no, 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 this correlates to Easter Sunday,
Wow.
2026, this
Wow.
prophecy,
Mhm.
which today is Friday, April 3rd.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
And
Great.
so I don't know. What are
Hmm.
your thoughts?
So like I was saying, I've seen some things on social media. There's a lot going on, I guess, over, I don't know if it has anything to do with this. I'm just going with the color red, I guess, about what's happened in Australia. And I think it happened in Greece where the whole place turned red. Did you see about that?
No.
Seeing that it was a combination of the Sahara dust, um, something in the dust that's making everything red. I mean, literally, it's red. Everything's red. It's
I
like if
think
you were,
I think it blocks out the blue particles, so it
yeah, it's something like that. So it's all red. So now
appears
everybody's,
red. That's my
yeah,
understanding.
I mean, it's just red. There's no, it's just, you can't look up and see the sky is blue. It's all red. Everything is red. So you could go to Australia, you could Google Australia. I think it just recently happened in Greece. I saw it this morning. And so a lot of people are saying that there's a prophecy attached to this. I don't know if it's the same thing. I'm just going with like, it just seems like there's a lot of things going on supposedly that's going to happen on Easter. I don't know if you've seen that or not. So
Yes.
and there's like,
Yeah.
I don't know if this all correlates together or if it's the same. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I don't know. I don't know. He got contacted too by high levels of the CIA, um, NASA, and
yeah.
interesting enough, the Vatican. Now,
Right.
why do you suppose the Vatican would be interested in a UFO encounter?
So from some of the things that I've read, especially on the Vatican, some believe and some don't. As I was, we've had a private conversation. We were talking about, some podcasts that I've been listening to, and that particular priest thinks that there are no aliens. Those aliens were considered demons, and that demons are now, coming into our awareness, so to speak. I think that aliens are aliens and demons are demons. I don't think that they're the same.
I think
So
they're using that as a fear propaganda tactic.
yeah. So I didn't want to say that, but you did. No,
Okay, I did. I
no,
don't
no,
care.
no, no. I totally agree with you. I just kind of tread a little lightly when it comes to people's religion, I guess. I don't believe everything that I read or I hear or I even see in church. I just believe what I believe. And I think that aliens are aliens and I think demons are demons. And I do think the aliens are starting to become more, bring their attention to us so that we could see that they are here. And I do think that they're like people, that there's good ones and there's bad ones. But I definitely think that they do want to help us. And God knows we need the help. So yeah,
Yes, we do.
but I have heard different things in different forms, something happening on Easter, which I think is very interesting that, this is the topic that you chose, which I think is a very interesting one. I think it's something that does need to be discussed because I think a lot of people are in that time of like, okay, I want to believe in God, but I believe in aliens. Can I do both? And for me, it's yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do. And no one is my judge or jury, just God. So I don't care what other people think. I do try and tread lightly in certain realms where I don't want to step on people's toes because I don't like it done to me. I don't like
Right.
people look at my crystals and say those are just rocks because they mean something. I know. And I'm like, no, no.
Blasphemy.
Yeah, I know, right? So I just tread lightly on certain things like that, but I do think that the Vatican is hiding things from us. I don't think that everybody's good in the Vatican. I think that there's some bad in the Vatican, like I told you. There's a lot of hidden stuff there. I think that there's just bad and good in everything that you do, in every work, church, school, office, police officers, the whole thing. There's good and bad. I do think something's up.
Yeah.
Something's been
Yeah, I
happening.
definitely think there's some suppression in the Vatican
Oh,
hiding
yes, yes.
because
Control. It's control.
if people realize how powerful they are, how autonomous
Mm-hmm.
they are, you can't control that person.
Right.
And it's all about control. That's why they're suppressing the information,
Mhm.
keep their thumb
Right.
on the little guy.
Well, that's what religion is. It's just they don't want you to have the power. They want.
Exactly.
That's how I look at it.
Exactly.
I go
Yeah.
there.
They do. And I heard, interestingly enough, that the sign of the cross
Mm-hmm.
is a third eye closer. It
Really?
literally closes your third eye every time you do it.
I didn't know that. I didn't hear that. I've never heard
I'm
that.
not saying that's true. It's just an interesting thing that I heard when
Yeah.
all this conversation is
Right.
coming up.
Right. Yeah. I have not heard that one. That's something I'll have to go and do some research on myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Everybody do your own research.
yeah. Almost
We're just
definitely. Yeah.
having a
Yeah.
conversation.
And it's something
So,
that we would talk about in private, so why not openly? But yeah, I do think that there is a lot of suppression. I just don't think that churches and our government want us to have the control over ourselves. And I think that that's why what we're seeing happening in America, at least, the people are taking back their power. And I think it's starting to happen in all aspects of life. Church,
yeah.
work, women are standing up for themselves instead of being, you know, thumb down on you. I just see that, and that's how we have to raise our daughters to be able to stand
Yeah.
their voice. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So he also got a message from them when he was on that same night he there's more to the story, but he got another message because he after that first encounter by himself on that hill, he came down and was calm. He wasn't afraid of it. Where everybody else was freaking out, whatever they did to him when he was abducted, it kind of rewired him like in a way. And she told him, you don't understand. We're here to help you, not hurt you.
Right.
Um, and he got this telepathically. I mean, she didn't obviously speak to him
Right.
like you and I are speaking, but the
Oh,
message
right.
appeared in his mind.
Well, that's how most
So
people talk to you.
yeah,
That's how
absolutely.
they talk
Um,
to you.
and that's my belief too. I really believe that they are trying to help us,
I
and they've
do.
helped us in the past.
I think that there's bad
Advance,
ones out there too, but I think that the majority of them
yes,
can help us.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But something's got to give.
We're all waiting for that. Even, you know, you talk about it with your family and your friends, and they're just like, when is this going to let up? Some people are thinking, you know, saying, oh, this is just a bad dream. When am I going to wake up? Well, we're all wondering that. But, you know, I think that you got to take what's happening, as horrible as it is, and learn the lesson in there. It's teaching us something about ourselves, I believe. I know that, you know, if you're my friend on social media, especially my private page, I use my voice. And I think that a lot of people are starting to step outside that, and they're starting to use their voice. A lot of people don't want to post controversial things because they're afraid of what their family and their friends are going to think. And I don't really care what my family or friends think. I'm going to post what I want. So I think that there's a lot of people looking at this as an empowerment time. It's not good. I get it. There's a lot of bad, but I'm talking about personally. I think a lot of people are starting to
Right.
use their voice and speak up and having a conversation, and not afraid to have that conversation that might start a conflict in the family or within the friend group. And I
Right.
think that's something that you have to do, because there's people who do not stand up for themselves. And I
Yeah.
think that this is bringing awareness.
Yeah. I agree. 100%. Yeah. So I guess we will see.
But when?
Well, apparently Sunday.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wait for Sunday. I know that something else came up too that was supposed to happen, and it came and went and nothing happened. So I think it's just a lot of people are jumping in and jumping on the bandwagon, and making their own comments as far as like what's going to happen. And then when it doesn't happen, then people, no one believes them. So then they, you know,
Right.
sometimes they just
Right.
think the person might be off with the timing or what have you. But
Right. Exactly. So,
what do you think? When do you think that this whole thing is going to end?
I don't know. I would like, well, part of me is conflicted. Oh, hello, Mavis Davis.
Oh, oh, like my Aw.
Just passing by.
Good vibes right there.
Um, she just plopped down with the other cat, and the other cat's like, "Get off of me, help!" But what was I saying?
I was asking you what's your thought on it? When do you think
Oh,
this thing is gonna?
oh, yes. Thank you. I'm old. I lose my train of thought. That's why I have a pen and paper. I usually jot it down. Um, a part of me is like, no, let us do it ourselves. Let us figure this out ourselves. And then part of me is like, no, we need the help. I don't know. I'm torn.
Yeah, I am torn too. And then, you know, the stuff that I read on a lot of these pages, and again, you can't believe everything. So a lot of times I will Google and do a little research, and sometimes you can't find anything. You know, that person's just full of shit. They don't know what they're talking about. But you know, it does put me into a little bit of a, if for a second it's a little fearful when I read some things, and then I'm like, okay, no, I cannot, you know, subscribe to the fear. But you know, there
Right.
are some alarming things on there. You know, they're talking about the FEMA camps again, and which came up back in 2008, when a lot of the stuff that's happening now was discussed back then, and that was in 2008. You know, there were people who were talking about FEMA camps, and you know, a virus or some kind of illness that was going to affect us. And you know, back then I was thinking, what the hell are these people talking about? And a lot of it has happened. You know, there's a
Right.
lot of stuff, because I jotted some things down back in 2008, and I went back and looked at it, and I just thought, this is frightening a little bit, because these people in this group that I was working with pretty much said, this is what's going on, this is what's going to happen. And I think they thought it was going to happen back then, but now it literally started in 2020, I think, with the whole COVID thing.
Right.
But now people are talking about, the FEMA camps again and trying to get us under control with fear tactics, and another virus might be coming, a shortage of gas.
Yeah, to keep us all home.
Right. Keep us home, keep us working from home. In California, they don't want us to have cars that are ran on gas. They want electric vehicles. There's a lot of things like that that you start to look at it and you just think, what's going on here? And so, but I like the attention. I like to read up on it. I'm not one to stick my head in the sand. I want to read up on it. I want to be aware of what's going on and
Right.
kind of get a little bit of a handle on it. If that means I have to go and stock up on supplies, which I should do anyway. We live in earthquake country here in California. So, things like that, I pay attention to, because I just think that there is that possibility. They've been talking about having no days of no power. Look at what
Mm-hmm.
happened in Cuba. Those people have had
Exactly.
quite some time. It could happen anywhere.
Yeah, there's quite a few yeah,
So
right.
I look
There's
at all,
predictions that say it will be global. We'll be
yeah,
cut off from all of it.
right.
No
Well, if you look
electricity,
at,
no
right,
water, no
right.
power.
Well, there's no power in Cuba. I think it's the
Hmm.
Iranian people. They shut down the internet. I think they did that in Russia, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's back up now. So, but the people take their power back. They find a way to
Right.
reach out to others in other parts of the world. So, and look what happened with the No Kings protest. Look at all those people that came out. So I think that this time around, if they try and gain some control over the American people, at least, I don't think they were going to stand for it.
Yeah.
Just
I think
don't.
all those things that are going on worldwide are like a test run.
Exactly. Not, yeah, that's exactly
They're
the word for
testing
it.
the system.
Yes, they are. And I think that it's going to be a little different than what they pulled on us with COVID. People just sat back and took it, and I don't think that's going to happen this time around. But I definitely I
Yeah.
fully agree with you. I think that this is definitely a test run.
So we shall see.
So see, we just have
Um,
to, stick together and rise
mhm.
above it and use our voice and not allow it. I'm sure that there's going to be some pushback, obviously, but you just have to be prepared for whatever.
Yeah. Well, as like we talked about yesterday, as more light hits the planet, um,
Yeah.
more exposure. You can't run from the light.
No, the light always prevails. It might be a
Yes.
little bit of a bumpy road getting there, but I definitely I know in my heart and my soul that the light always prevails, and we just have to sit back and wait, because what else can we do? We go about our life and we live our life, but I think that there's some stuff simmering on the back burner, waiting to hit the American people and probably around the world. But what is it? I don't know. We'll have to see what happens on Easter, if anything.
Yeah.
And then we'll find out
Um,
what the next prediction will be if it doesn't happen on Easter.
I guess the next prediction would be the fall equinox,
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
know, September 20th, 21st, 22nd, that but I guess they were looking at the stars in the sky and the constellations and because I know that the eyes are in the Sphinx are supposed to glow red. It hits the light, however it hits, it's supposed to go through kind of like Raiders of the Lost Ark type of thing. Like the sun
Uh-huh.
has to be in the exact perfect position,
Really? Okay.
and then it lights these jewels, these red jewels that are in the Sphinx eye, and that's how it starts.
I
So I
didn't
don't
know
know.
that. I'll have to look that up. I got lots of looking up. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I just think that
So
we'll have to wait and see.
I guess so. But I mean, planetary wise, this April's a good month for people. We have no planets in retrograde. All planets are direct till
Right,
I
right.
guess the beginning of May.
That's good.
So it's all systems ahead as far as the planetary stuff.
Right.
Um, but yeah,
It'll be interesting.
interesting.
I'm actually looking forward to see what happens, on Easter.
Yeah,
You
if
know,
anything.
if anything, well, I just think that something's got to happen somewhere. Something's got to give. Something's got to break, because we cannot continue going on the way that they're going on. Like we were talking about, the dark is becoming darker, and the light.
They're losing.
Yeah, and the
They're
light is
scrambling to do whatever they can to hold on to that power.
right, and there are more people turning to the light.
Because
So
there's a lot of people going down
yeah,
too.
well, there's a
Sometimes
lot
they're
of
not in the headlines.
right,
Sometimes they're in the back stories or the side stories, and I'll stumble upon, a predator or, a pedophile or something getting there.
right.
The victim is getting justice finally. This person is
Yeah.
finally serving their sentence. And
Well,
so we're seeing more and more of that.
there's a lot more coming out about the elites, the people who are
Exactly. Now we've got it's crazy. We've had so much more clone talk, reptilian talk.
well, and if you look at some of the celebrities,
Yes. Jim
there's
Carrey's big thing. Remember, did you hear about that?
Jim Carrey, and I think Katy Perry was another one where there was
There's another one too.
where I think it was Katy Perry. I'm
I
not
know, I saw that one.
yeah, where there was like a glitch in her system, so to speak, and all of a sudden she was acting weird, and then she went back to normal. I'm thinking that's really weird, but I think where it's confusing a lot of people, because sometimes it does me, is AI. People
Right.
don't know what to believe anymore because there's so much stuff with AI. So you don't know whether, okay, is this person really having a glitch in their clone self or is it AI? There's so much stuff being made up that you just don't know what to believe anymore. And I think
Right.
that's where some of the confusion where people don't believe that there's cloning taking place, which I do believe that there is.
I do too. I don't know how they do it. I don't know the technology,
Right. And
but
step-ins where people will leave voluntarily and someone will step in and can take over.
for power and fame and money.
Well, they're saying a lot of people sold their souls.
Hmm.
I think they were talking about Kanye West, if I'm not mistaken. I
Yeah.
think it was him.
Look at the Black Eye Club,
Yeah,
the
but
Red Shoe Club.
I think it was Kanye that said that he
If you
literally
don't know
sold.
what we're talking about, Google it.
Yeah, that Kanye sold his mom, and that so she's gone obviously because he wanted fame and
Yeah.
and
Or they take out someone you love as a means of control.
right,
We
right.
can get to you wherever you are,
And I think it
type
made
of
him a
thing.
little crazy. And now he sees what happened and what he's done. And now he's alert because he sounds so crazy that people don't believe him.
Right.
And you have to really pay attention. And if you start to listen to what he's saying and get the backstory of what he said he did by, wanting fame and fortune, got rid of his, sold his mom basically to get fame and fortune. And now the regret setting in. But now he sounds like a crazy person. So no one's believing anything that he's saying. So it's like sometimes you have to believe those crazy people. I don't know.
Sometimes that's where the truth lies.
Exactly. Exactly. So I think that is more that's coming out to the forefront more for us to see that they sold their soul for fame and fortune. And if it wasn't their soul, it was their family member. So
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know. It just
yikes.
and I think a lot of my husband's always saying, I don't think social media is that great. Yeah, there's good and bad to it, parts to it, but I think that it shows us what's really going on in the world. So I think that there's some good aspects to it because that's where I learn a lot. The news isn't going to talk about, cloning and this, that, and the other, but social media, because there's those pages that do, they
Mm-hmm.
dig deep into it and kind of explain it to you. And those are the pages that I'll follow. The ones that, they'll give you where they got this information so that you could go and do the research yourself. You just don't
Right.
believe everything you read. But mainstream media doesn't talk about it. You got to find this stuff on social media. And I think there's a lot of truth in there. Sad.
Absolutely.
It is sad. It's a scary world that we are living in.
Truly. But, I always talk to my spirit team before I go to sleep. I'm just like, I'm like, why would I choose this time? And they always say, just wait. It's
Mhm.
going to get really good. You don't want to miss this.
Yeah. I was saying that to my sister-in-law. We were talking about that and she's like, what do you mean? And I was telling her how, it's my belief that we pick our parents, you know,
Hmm. Absolutely.
and we come and I think that some of the things that we're dealing with, you and I were having a private conversation on, what's going on. And I just think sometimes, your karmic debt comes around and you got to pay it. there's a cleansing going on. You got to get rid of all the stuff that you've been carrying around, for me at least, for all these years. It's time to pay that debt, suck it up, put your big girl panties on, go through it, and start clearing. And I think that's going on too, because it's gonna empower us, and that enlightenment's gonna take place, and we're gonna become the person that we were meant to become. That's why we're here, is to do that. So we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to it. As much as it sucks, some of the stuff I've been having, I just lay in bed and think, okay, like I said, what did I do to get here? What mess did I create in another life? I'm having to pay some karmic debt now. And I just think, okay, whatever. I chose this time to come.
Yeah, they just have to go through it.
And I'm okay.
We're all feeling it.
Yeah. I think a lot of people don't want to admit it, but this
It
year
is a tough time, but everybody's my team is like, it's gonna be worth it. It's gonna be, you got, it's kind of like ending a show before you get the finale.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
They're just like, just wait.
And I am.
I know, because I feel like there's stuff brewing in the background.
Oh, you could feel it.
Yeah. So
I get up and I'm just like, their energy is really off today. There's something going on, and then all of a sudden something will pop up, or I'll have a dream, or I'll have this premonition, and then I'll see it, or or hear about it, and I'm like, okay, that's my spirit guides telling me, okay, pay attention, listen up, this is what's going on today. And it's pretty interesting. It's an exciting time in life as well.
It is.
You can look for the good and the bad, but it's an exciting time to be alive. I mean, I think about my parents. My parents could not tolerate what's going on.
Oh my gosh, my mom. No, there's no way. There's no way.
A lot of people leaving the planet.
Yeah, a lot of people leaving the planet.
All ages.
That's their choice.
Right.
They're choosing this.
Right.
We choose our death.
Yeah.
So, and people have different exit points. We have many exit points that we can choose, and people are taking there. Like me, no, not me, but
I'm ready to go.
Cancel.
Yeah. So.
But but some people are just they're tired. They're tired.
And I think that they've completed their purpose of why they're here. That whatever they didn't finish in the last life, they came here and now they finished up.
Yeah, and they're just like, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, my debt's paid. I'm ready.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go back home.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, I know I keep repeating it, but I'm excited. I'm excited to see what the future holds. It'll be good, I think. I think it will.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially for our grandkids. Those are
right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So if just know, if you're going through it right now,
you're not
just
alone.
hang in there.
Yeah.
Find whatever ways you can to do some self-care. Just take care of yourself, get out into nature, take a bath, just have a glass of wine.
Start a garden.
Do what you need to do to help regulate also meditation, yoga, because we're being bombarded by our government with a lot every single day. It's something fucking new.
Right.
So, people's nervous systems are fried. 100%. So.
And sometimes you do got to turn the news off, and you do got to turn social media off. And that's where, I said, go and start a garden. Get up.
Yeah. Unplug.
Yeah. So sometimes
unplug. Take a walk.
Yeah. Just do that. Sometimes that helps the soul. Get out, put your feet on the ground and ground a little bit. Have the sun on your face. I had a cat that was sick, and he knew what to do. He would, I obviously feed him, have water. He'd always go sit out in the sun, and I was reading up on that because I just thought he knew what to do to heal himself. And he eventually got better, but we're human and we know better, and we don't do half of what we should.
No.
Drink your water, turn the TV off, get outside, plant a garden, do something for yourself, like you said. Self-care is what's needed right now, because people are drained.
They're snapping. They're snapping like twigs.
Yes, they sure are. So you just got to take care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you said to me when we were talking about something else, about how taking care of your health is a job.
Yeah.
Job.
Yeah, it's my job to do my workout and,
You
stand on
should-
my,
yeah.
I gotta take care of my body and take my supplements
Yeah.
and because we have this vessel that we need to take care of.
But a lot of people don't look at it like that. It's like your car. Your car gets a tune up, gets its oil change. And what about your body?
Hmm.
We're putting a lot of processed foods into our bodies.
They're killing us with
Yeah.
food.
Yep.
They're killing us with chemicals in the air.
Yeah. When
They're
you go to
poisoning
Europe,
our food, our water.
they don't you don't see processed foods like we have.
Mm-mm.
The portions are huge here. In Europe, they're small. So, there's things like that that I pay attention to.
Yeah, they're just dumbing us down for control.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's
exactly.
all. Just be aware of it. I think when you have an awareness of the situation, that's half the battle.
Right, right.
Knowing why something is taking place.
Yeah. And some people don't want to know. Some people live in fear.
Well, some people aren't meant to awaken.
Right. Yeah.
Some people are meant to hold a mirror up to ourselves and do we want this? Maybe not.
Right. Right. Yeah.
We don't want to, I like woo woo, we say woo woo people.
Mhm.
The time for burying your head in the sand is over.
Right.
You got to
I
wake
think
yourself up.
some people don't want to know. They rather leave their head in the sand so that they don't have to be accountable.
Right.
They just rather
Right.
like, oh, I need to
And,
do that.
and then some people are here to show us what we don't want to do.
Right.
So there is
Yeah, and
that.
we know some of those people in our government. They don't want to be anything like them. So yeah, it's an interesting time, most
It
definitely.
is very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good.
Yes, we needed this.
Yeah, we did. We're
Yeah,
back.
yeah, and we missed the store, and we missed doing the
We do. We miss the clients and the customers and the Reiki
yeah.
and the
So
gatherings, the women gatherings.
the witches tea. I just think
Yes,
and
so
all
which
the
is
craft that
tea.
you were doing.
Mother's Day is just around the corner. I think about the Mother's Day tea and
Yeah. So hopefully, you're making jewelry and
I am,
just
yeah, I got an Etsy store. I do it. Well, I started the jewelry after I got sick in 2017 when I got my diagnosis of Addison's disease. I had such anxiety. It almost could have turned into agoraphobia. I almost got to the point where I was afraid to leave the house because
oh
that was
wow,
my safety.
right.
And so I started beading as a way to combat the anxiety that I
And
was feeling.
and
So
that's other stuff. People should be taking up a positive hobby.
yeah,
People just sit
we
on their
need to bring
phone.
back crafts.
Yes. Yeah.
That was another thing I missed at the shop. I love my monthly workshops. We did something.
You
We made
always did.
candles, we made
Yeah.
incense, we
It
made
was fun. It
bracelets.
was great. Yeah, it was a good
Yeah,
time. Most
it was a
definitely.
good time.
But I do appreciate all those people that we had that came.
We sure do.
Made great friends. There's a few people that I've stayed in close contact with, and those were some of the people that came over to the gathering. So it wasn't that we didn't want to invite everyone. There was just some people that I've kept in contact with for the last 2 years. I'm still in contact with them.
Right.
And those are the ones that stand out a bit.
Yeah.
So that's all. But yeah, I miss the shop. I miss seeing all the people. But at least we have this, and
We do.
we keep doing this, and hopefully we can get more people to maybe give us some ideas on what they want to talk about.
Yeah, yeah. If you want to hear us talk about something, drop it in the comments.
Yeah. Or we could do it again. Hopefully we'll do it again, and then hopefully when you come out again, we could maybe.
It's gonna be a little bit.
Yeah. No, I know, but maybe we'll go visit you. I don't know. We got to get somewhere. Lonnie and I
Yeah.
we're going to take a trip somewhere soon. So yeah,
Yeah.
but this is great. This is great. I'm really grateful that I have this time with you right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks you guys for tuning in. Let's end the video and then we can chat for a second afterwards. Okay. So signing off. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much.